Let's talk about anger, since that seems to be the most expressed feelings these days in public discourse with politics. Angry people get angry. People feel justified in their anger. From a Christian point of view, the feeling of anger is not a sin. It's just a reaction. That's how you're reacting to something, and it's there's no sin involved in there. What you do with your anger, how you express your anger, becomes a determinant factor of whether it becomes a sin or not, what would typically be called the sin of wrath. When you use your anger to attack somebody, not defend against, attack somebody, that's becoming wrath. And that's what you have to think of. I'm using my anger to embolden myself to attack somebody verbally or physically. And that's when anger really becomes an issue of sin, and perhaps very serious, because enough anger can make you kill somebody. So anger is one of those emotions that has to be handled with a lot of self-awareness. If you can't control your anger, you need to go get help, because it's going to ruin your life, and it's probably going to leave you feeling like a pretty isolated or lonely individual because you are too angry. Now, that mind, what do you do with angry people? What if you have an angry friend and you don't know what to do with them? You can try to encourage them to change their attitude. That's certainly one avenue and aspect. It's not an easy walk and may not work. You can avoid angry people, and that's probably a good tactic. If you know there's somebody who's always predisposed to be angry in your life, avoid them. You know, unless you really are interacting with them or have a great calling in your love for them, avoid them. But if you really love them, okay, interact with them and say, hey man, I want you in my life, but I can't handle your anger. Male or female, whatever you are, you need to get a handle on it, and I'm willing to help you as a good friend. What do you do if you're out in public and you deal with angry people? We see this in the political situation all the time, where angry mobs come up. And I think one of the things in dealing with public anger is, one, avoid it. What if you can't avoid the people? What if they're in your face? I think there's a threshold where you have to make a decision. One, you get angry yourself, in which case you're escalating it to physical violence more than likely. You're going to get angry and attack them, or they're going to get angry and attack you. And that's one of the risks you deal with. The other thing is this. Here's one of the ways to handle angry people that will not make them happy, and that's mock them. I think of all these angry crowds that I see protesting various politicians, harassing them when they go out to eat, mobbing them as they go through their car. You know, these are the type of people I want to hand just like hundreds of pacifiers to, because you're all acting like a big bunch of freaking babies. You can't control your anger. I mean, it's just that cry. Michael Savage used to do his radio program years ago. Poor baby. Oh, and they'd be crying and whining. And that is really what unhinged people are like, on the right or on the left. Doesn't matter. I see more on the left, but I'm sure they're out there on the right too, that don't know how to handle their anger, that can't handle getting their way, and they need to be called the babies that they are. And you can't avoid them, and you can't talk to them to try to talk them down from their anger, then mock them. Nobody can handle being mocked if their ego's too big. You can handle being mocked if you're a humble person, because hey, that happens. But if you got a big old fat ego, if you're all ginned up on you, be it by anger or pride or whatever, mocking you will make you very angry, will make you upset. And either, depending on how emboldened you get, you'll attack your mocker or you'll go away humiliated. It all depends on how emboldened. And that's one of the problems with anger, is it makes people feel emboldened that should not have been otherwise. Because you lay a hand on somebody, you physically threaten somebody, they have a right to defend themselves. And if they think their life's in danger and they're armed, you're toast. I don't ever recommend shooting people. That's a horrible thing. But there's no problem with people defending themselves or defending their loved ones. If you're a menacing person, you should be mindful of how sour it can go for you. But anger, powerful thing, if focused in the right way, more often than not, horrible thing, because people don't focus in the right way. It becomes self-destructive and alienating.